Good evening, everyone. I'm glad that you're here. Excited about just really talking to you today about a few things. You guys had a lot of questions that you sent in, which is good. I'm going to go over a case study. I lost the deal today, and so I'm going to go over the case study on that and just kind of show you why I lost the deal. Felt really bad about losing this deal. And then we'll answer your questions. We'll do a little bit of the math as well, like we did last week. You guys, you've got to know the math. You've got to know the math. So we're going to go over the math again. But put in the comment box. Let me know how you're doing. Any successes this week? Just let me know how you're doing. How you feeling? I want you to be encouraged, and I want you to make moves. We talked a lot last week about credit and credit scores and things like that. And I want to know if you've been working on that. You know, I keep that kind of near and close in my mind, my credit score. And I probably look at my credit score too much since it's free. I've got, not only do I have Capital One that uses, I can't even remember the name of it now, Wise something. But then Navy Federal, you can get a free credit score as well. I didn't even know that until this weekend. Credit-wise, on Capital One. So I'm mindful of it because, you know, I've got big goals, and a lot of the goals that I have are really predicated on my credit. And so just to kind of get this started while you guys are logging on, Janelle is here. Hey, Janelle. All right. So you'll learn a lot, Janelle. And so, you know, again, credit is very important. And so I have a lot of business expenses. And so one thing I want to do is really maximize my the opportunities that I have using a credit card in terms of reward points. And so reward points for me are it's big. It's free money. And I discovered it. I was telling my platinum coaching students, woohoo, look at Iana writing another offer tonight. Way to go. All right. And so Iana is rocking and rolling, you guys. She's got multiple streams of income now. She's selling houses. She's an investor. She's a mother, a wife. I really want to sing that song for you, Iana. I'm every woman. But I'll spare you guys. But she's doing a great job. Clinton says he's feeling grateful to be here tonight and to continue plugging away with his real estate business. All right, let's go, Clinton. And so I applied for, I studied the best business credit cards. And you guys might want to take a note here. I studied the best business credit cards, and there's a lot of them. But one that stood out was the American Express. And I had American Express in my early 20s and hadn't had one since. And so I looked at it, the points that they give you just for joining up. I looked at the points that they give you for business expenses, airline tickets, hotel, which I don't do a lot of business traveling, but I do have a lot of expenses running, you know, my brokerage and some other businesses that I have. So I said, well, let me go ahead and get this business, American Express. And I applied for it Saturday. It had been on my mind. I said, no, it was late Friday night. I said, I shouldn't do it. Should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? Decided to go ahead and push the button, and I did it. And I got approved within 2 or 3 minutes. And I had never been so excited to get approved for a credit card in my life. I was so excited. It actually arrived today. And so here's what I'm going to do. Now, I don't want you guys doing this, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm getting rid of all of my debit cards. I've been using debit cards almost exclusively, probably for the last 10, 15 years. Debit cards. Here's one thing about debit cards, you guys. It's good. It's really helped my credit because I don't have a lot of credit card debt. but there's really no advantage of using a debit card. There's no points. There's no reward points on a debit card. Tons of reward points on credit cards. I didn't even know that my Navy Federal credit card gave points until I started recently reading about reward points and looking at YouTube videos to see that credit card gives reward points. I went online to my account with Navy Federal, and I saw that I had like $700 just sitting there for years. Didn't even know I had those points. And with Navy Federal, it's actually money. On one of the credit cards, I actually applied for their Navy Federal's Platinum card that has 3 times the points, and you got that. And then this Gold American Express. So I kind of say all this to say, you guys want to play that game, that the money game, where you're using your credit cards, you're getting reward points, bonus points, and you're doing something with that free, I call it free money. So just keep that in mind. All of you guys are entrepreneurs. All of you guys have business expenses. You might as well take advantage of those expenses. Now, here's the caveat, you guys. You gotta listen to this. This is the caveat. When you get these credit cards, you've got to pay them off within 30 days, or it's better off using a debit card. And so that's the only thing. If you're getting the credit cards, make sure that you can pay them off, because the way the credit card companies win, one of the ways, I mean, they win in many different ways, but one of the ways they win is by you paying the interest on that card. And so you want to make sure you don't do that. That's another reason why I went with American Express, because you've got to, in my mind anyway, you've got to make that payment within 30 days. It's almost a requirement. I think they've loosened that up, but it's almost a requirement. So get the credit cards, be responsible with them, but read the fine print. There's a lot of things that you can buy, not just business expenses. I mean, I looked at the American Express, and there's lots of stores, gas, groceries that the card I got is like 5 times the points. And so that's big. Kevin is saying just got an offer from American Express with $50,000 points to start. Absolutely. I don't know, Kevin, I don't know which card that is, but if you decide to get it, use it wisely. But that's free money, you guys. You guys are spending money. You're going out to dinner. You're spending money there. I know somebody told me that they saved their points to go every year to go on an exotic vacation every year, where they're spending somewhere between $10,000 and $20,000 on a nice vacation. You know, other people use the reward points at the end of the year for Christmas presents for their loved ones. Good buddy of mine, a lot of you guys know, a really big investor. He uses it so much for his expenses, but for his material cost. Hey Sharon, for his material cost for his flips, that he's able to use those points to buy more material, paint and hardwood floors. You can cash those points in, and so just be mindful of all of those things. Be mindful of all of those things. All right, you guys. So we've got a few questions that I want to answer. One question is how to find a personal representative. And so I've been getting a lot of probate questions. And so I want to answer this question, but I want to show you how I do it. And so how to find a personal representative in Maryland is the question. And so I'm going to try to share my screen. Let's hope that it works. Let's see here. So we're going to go here, And so you want to go to the Register of Wills. So let me back up here. Hopefully my screen is being shared here. Is this going to take me back? Oh, here we go. All right, so you want to Google Office of Register of Wills. And so here's what I Googled. I actually Googled Office of Deeds and Wills, and I put MD, Maryland. And this is what came up, Office of the Register of Wills. And so I clicked here. And then I came over here. Clinton, this is for you. And then we want to go to estate search. We want to go to estate search. Click on estate search, come all the way down. I agree to the terms and conditions. Click on that. Now we're here. And so just to give you an idea, I'm going to, if you have an estate number, you can put it here. If you have the deceased name, you can put it there to search on them. To make it easier for myself, so let's say that you want to look up estates in Prince George's County. And so we'll click there. And then I like looking for open estates. So I'll click there, open. In a type of estates, I believe RE stands for those that have real estate, the deceased passed with real estate in the estate. Obviously, those are the ones that we want. And so let's go to a range. I'm just going to pull some up. Let's start with March of last year. And then we'll put in, let's see, March of this year. So that's the range. And then let's search there. I will click on the first one here. And as you can see, Clinton, right here where it says personal representative, this is the personal representative of the estate. This is her name. She's the PR. And this is her address. And so if you wanted to send her a letter or postcard, this is her address. This is the deceased name. And then in these documents here, these will not open. These aren't going to open. You have to actually go to the probate office, and this same screen, this same site will come up. But at the probate office, you can click on these different reports in here, and you see this one has 13. So this is probably one that you want that's going to show the address of the property. And this one has 14 pages. 4 pages. But I always like to go to the report that has the most pages, because that's going to give you the most information. And so that's how you find the personal representative. Now, if you go to the courthouse, when you open up one of these pages here that's in the docket, it's also going to have the personal representative's phone number. So you can call them. Those of you who have Deal Machine and other skip tracing technology, you can just put her name in and her number and her address, for that matter, to get her phone number. So you can skip trace to get her phone number, so that you don't have to go down to the probate office to get that information. But then also you can skip trace. Oh, what that is? What does that say? Can't see your screen. Oh, they can't. Okay, but you can also skip trace the deceased. And so let me go back. I'm not sure if you guys can see the screen or not. Let's see. We can't see the screen. But Clinton, to answer your question, those are the keystrokes. That's where you go to find a personal representative. You can actually go online, Google Office of Deeds and Wills, and then I was hoping to actually show it to you. But Office of Deeds and Wills, we'll do it next time, and we'll be able to. I'll be able to get it to you. So Kevin, just Google Office of Deeds and Wills Maryland, and the first thing that comes up is the site that you go to. I can actually. I'm coming out of here, so you guys probably cannot see my screen. I just want to give the site. So the site is registers with the S, registers.maryland.gov is where you go to get that. So I apologize. All right, so Clinton, that's how you do it. If you have any further questions, Clinton, just let me know and I can walk you through it one-on-one. I thought we could share the screen on StreamYard, and I know we can. I just couldn't figure it out. We should have practiced Swan. Anyway, you guys, so I'm getting a lot of questions, you guys, on probate, and so probate is probably the best way to find the best deals, in my opinion. Here's what I want you to know, because I get this question all the time. I got it today about probate. A spouse, a child has inherited the property. They're ready to sell the property. Their name is on the will, so they have a will. And the investor's ready to sign a contract. Here's what I want you to know. You can't sign that contract until they've been legally appointed, the personal representative of the estate, or you can't sign that contract until whomever's been appointed, the legal representative of the estate, has been appointed that. Now, once they've been appointed the personal representative, you can then sign a contract. Now, it doesn't mean that you can purchase the property right away. You still have to wait until the estate, until the personal representative gets the letters of administration. That means it's going all through the whole process of probate. And so you can't buy the property until then, unless their name is actually on the property. And because it's willed to them, their name is not on the property. And so that's so you've got to wait until then. You can't purchase the property until then. It's got to go through probate. One of my agent investors called me Sunday and had the listing agent on the phone with her. She wants to write an offer on the property. And even though they had filed, I went into the same site, looked them up by name, and saw that they filed. They only filed like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and the paperwork hadn't gone through to approve that son to be the personal representative. And so I said to my agent, you can't sign that contract yet, because if you sign the contract and it's dated prior to that personal representative being appointed the personal representative, then that contract's null and void. They have to officially be named in writing personal representative, then you can sign the contract. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, you guys. All right, so let me answer some questions here. So Colby, it's the same thing in DC. Just a little navigating to get to that site in DC is a little more difficult, but do the same keystrokes and you can do it. All right, can we have the site again? Gave you that. I don't know of Demille, I don't know of any contractors in Baltimore per se. When I renovate properties in Baltimore, I've gone to Angie's List to find contractors and got 3 bids. But generally speaking, I'll send one of my crews from here in the DC area to go up there. Now, I'm shooting myself in the foot a little bit because the labor cost is a little less for the contractors in Baltimore, but I want to make sure that I get the job done and I get it done right. So I rather use my crew. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right, so I think I've answered all these questions that are on the screen. If you guys have any more questions or comments, just go to the comment box. What type of payment schedule do you do with your contractor? So I kind of answered this in a Facebook post, but I'll answer it again. All right, so when you guys are flipping properties, I generally do 3 draws. Let's say that the repair cost on a property is $60,000. And so the bank wants you to break up those payments. So I break them up generally into 3 payments. If it's a smaller job, I'll break them up into 2 draws. If it's a bigger job, I'll break it up into 4 draws. And so let's say, but generally speaking, it's 3 draws. So I have a property now in the Brentwood section of Washington, D.C. and Northeast, where the renovation cost, I believe, is $90,000. And so I have 3 draws on that. And so the way it works is I've already given the bank and my contractors the draw schedule. And so I'm telling the bank that a third of the work, and this is the work that's going to be done in the first draw. After the first draw is done, they come out and inspect it, or they'll have us send pictures. They'll give us the money for the first draw. So then the question for the first draw is, do I front the contractor's money to get started, to get through the first draw? And the answer is yes. And so generally speaking, I'll give the contractors half of the first draw. So if the first draw is $30,000, my recommendation is to give them $15,000 to get through the first draw, and then at the end of the first draw, I'll give them the other $15,000. Now, if it's a contractor that I've had a lot of experience with, one that I trust, then I may go ahead and front the whole first draw. So then the other question is, where do I get the money for the first draw, or where should you get the money for the first draw? Most of the flips that I do, you guys, I'll get a private lender. I'll get a private lender to lend me the money, not just to get through the first draw, which is the $30,000. I'll also get a private lender to pay for closing costs. So generally, when I'm flipping properties, I'll use either my line of credit or a hard money lender for the acquisition to buy the property and for the renovation cost. And so on this property, acquisition was the $300,000. No, acquisition, it was $300,000. So I bought it for $300,000. Renovation cost is $390,000. And so I got one loan for $390,000. And so the hard money lender financed that. And so now I need money for closing costs and to get through the first draw. And so I use the private lender for closing costs and to get through the first draw. I'm going to pay that private lender when I finish. When I finish the project, sell the project, I'm paying them back their money plus interest, plus 10%. So now I have the money for closing costs. I've already closed on the deal. Money to get through the first draw. Now, so now when I get the money, so in this particular project, I fronted the whole first draw. I gave my contractors all the money for the first draw. When the first draw, the work in the first draw was completed, the bank came out, inspected. The bank gave me the money for the first draw. I used that money to fund the second draw. The bank is going to come out to inspect the second draw. When they do that and I pass, they're going to give me the money for the second draw, I'm going to use that money to fund the last draw. And then when the last draw is done, when I get the money, then now I have the money to either pay back my private lender or to hold until the project is finished. And so that's how I finance my projects. I try to, on my flips, not spend any of my own money. I try everything that I can not to put up money up front, because I need money. I always want my money for change orders or, you know, something that is unforeseen. I'll go in my pocket and pay for that, because oftentimes banks, you know, if your draw is $90,000 in renovations and there's change orders, they're not paying for change orders. Most will not. Every now and then they'll give you more money, but most will not. So I try to keep my money, especially like right now, I'm renovating 4 properties. I need, and cash is scarce, especially on these projects, you guys. A lot of these projects, if you're doing multiple projects, multiple flips, it takes a lot of cash. So I try to use my cash for unforeseen things that weren't on the draw schedule that maybe should have been. Change orders, they're always coming up with change orders that was not on the draw schedule. We got a stop work order on this same project that I'm talking about, and so we had to pay. We paid a third-party inspector to come back a couple times, and that wasn't on. So I had to pay the third-party inspector in DC to pass us. So it's just little things like that, and so that's how I do my draw schedule on my project. So you just want to make sure that you're well funded. Most people, most investors, when they're flipping properties, they lose money for a lot of reasons. Number one reason is they buy the property wrong, and so you've got to do your math. We're getting ready to do some math in a second, but you've got to know your numbers. You've got to know your math. So you've got to buy the property right for the right price. You've got to get the right financing, you guys. And hopefully you guys are writing this stuff down. You got to buy it right. You got to do the math. You've got to get the right financing. And the right financing simply means, even though I use a hard money lender, I don't, my terms are very, very favorable because I've established a relationship with this hard money lender. So my terms are like well under 10% and less than 3 points. Now, when I use my line of credit, it's even better than that, obviously. It's I think my line of credit now is about 4% and 1 point on my line of credit. And those numbers are annualized, spread out over a year. And so you can't get the type of financing where a hard money lender or private lender is charging you like 15% or 16% and 3 or 4 points. I mean, they're really a 50% partner at that point. They're going to get paid. So a lot of your profits are going out of your pockets. They're a partner. And so you want to shop around. My recommendation is to get that line of credit. The only negative part about a line of credit is sometimes it takes a little longer for a bank to close on a deal. And a project like this one, I had to move fast, so I used my hard money lender. So you want to buy it right, you want to get the right financing, and then you want to get the right contractors. Contractors can make you or break you, you guys. So you got to get the right contractors. The contractor has to know the plan, the scope of work, the draw schedule, and they have to move quickly. You can't sit there. Time is money. And so your contractors have to move fast. You've got to have you've got to renovate correctly. You've got to have the right finishes. Depending on the neighborhood that you're in, you've got to renovate to that neighborhood. So when I even thought about purchasing the property, I looked at some of the after repair value comps to see that to see how they were renovating their properties. Or the kitchens on the wall, or were they on, or the sinks on the wall, or the sinks on an island. This particular property, they had 2 full baths. And so I had to put a full bath on this one. I had to put a full bath in the basement because upstairs there was no room to put an extra bath. So it's 3 bedrooms and 1 full bath upstairs. The comps at 660 are 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. So you got to look at the comps to see which ones are selling for the highest. And then the type of finishes, the type of wood, the wood planks, even the color schemes, obviously granite, type of stainless steel appliances. And then are the properties are they being, what am I trying to say? Staged or not? And so they are. So when I'm done, I'm going to have a stager. And then the last thing is you've got to sell it for the right price, and you've got to know what that after repair value is, and you've got to sell it for the right price. And if you do all of those things, then and without skipping a beat, without skipping a step, then you'll be golden. Especially in this market, you're golden. Especially in this market. So I highly advise those of you who have the wherewithal to find deals. This is a seller's market. I mean, we talked to one of my agents in our meeting last night, who was also a seller on a property. He put his property on the market Friday. By Sunday, he had 120 showings and 26 offers. Put the property on the market. I believe it was, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he put the house on the market for $515. The winning bid was $575. No appraisal contingency. Obviously, no closing costs, no home inspection contingency. I mean, it was crazy. And the winning bid actually came from an agent out of my office as well. And so for investors, this is the market that we want to be in, to sell. Because we know I can't wait until that property in Northeast is finished. My property in Suitland gets finished. I can't wait because I'm expecting the same thing. I mean, my agent was expecting it to be crazy, but not that crazy. And this was February. We're into March now, but all throughout the winter months, it hasn't changed. Generally, we slow down in the winter months and start picking up really now. Spring markets really starts now in March, but the market never relented, never. December, it was hot. There was no inventory. January, February, no inventory. Now, I believe that sellers are going to start selling. We'll have more inventory now that we're in the spring market, and then summer market, there'll be more inventory. But for us investors, we're on the right side. We're on the winning side of the equation. The equation is the buyer side or the seller side. Seller side is winning. That's why it's a seller's market. So sellers are winning and investors are winning. And anybody else who's representing sellers and or supporting sellers and investors. Wholesalers who are supporting investors, fighting investors' deals, they're winning. You're on the winning side. Wholesalers, find me a deal. I will pay you top dollar, and many other cash buyers on this meeting will as well. Or if you're a real estate agent, you want listings. And so we're preaching in the brokerage listings, because on the listing side, our agents are winning, sellers are winning. So that's what you want to do. Sharon, all right, thank you, Sharon. Santia is in the house. Hey, Santia. Um, and so that's what you guys have to start thinking. And so you've got to start marketing. You really have to start marketing to find the deals to take advantage of the market that we're in. Like that's my only focus right now is to take advantage of the market that we're in. And I want you guys to take advantage. You can't sit on the sidelines. You've got to take action. And so in a minute, I'm going to ask you what that action is. Actually, I'm going to ask you now. What's the action? What are some of you guys, put in the comment box, what are some of you guys doing right now to take advantage of this market? Lorene says action. Lorene, I owe you a phone call. I forgot I was preparing for this, but I'm going to call you. So she actually found a property that is either in foreclosure or going to foreclosure. The homeowner had found bankruptcy, but she's out there and she's out there finding properties. Shalante says, what's she saying? Oh, wholesalers. Okay, Shalante said wholesalers find her a deal. Shalante, put your information in the comment box so they can find you. She's looking for deals. Demille, texting, cold calling. That's what you've got to do. You guys have to be on the hunt every single day, no days off to find a deal. For some of you guys, finding one deal will change your current situation. Making $20,000, $30,000 on a wholesale deal, making $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 on a flip. That's not a lifetime of wealth, but it could change your current situation. And so let's find that. Let's find that one deal. Clinton is saying cold calling, driving for dollars, staying focused. Good. Gray Gamby, driving for dollars. He thinks he found one today. Good. Lynn is saying driving for dollars daily. We've got to take advantage of this opportunity. Let's not let this opportunity slip by. Cash buyer, Davis Property Development at Gmail. Hit her up. You guys find a deal, hit her up. Find a deal, hit me up. Let's go. Let's all win. But we've got to be out there on the hunt. And so what does that mean? It means social media. You've got to be posting on social media. If you're looking for deals, if you're looking for properties, you've got to be willing to let the whole wide world know. You got to let the whole world know. Alvis, he's looking for deals. He's saying he's at auctions. And so that property today, Alvis, I'm getting ready to tell the story, but that property actually went to auction. And so those are the things that you guys have to do. Social media, cold calling, driving for dollars, direct mail to a targeted area, probate. We talked about probate. And really just branding yourself, just getting the word out, wearing something on you that says that you're a real estate investor. Tax sales. I'm going to talk about tax sales, Lynn, probably next week or the week after. I may or may not bring a specialist on, but it's tax sale time. And so I'm going to talk more and more about tax sales as well. Oh, Sharvita's saying that she needs some deals too. So look, wholesalers. And we've got about 47 people on the call tonight. Probably 90% of you guys are wholesalers. We've got cash buyers. Sharvita's a cash buyer. Albus is a cash buyer. I'm missing. Shalante's a cash buyer. So sometimes the bids are too high at the auction, but you guys just got to keep going. You just got to keep going. You got to keep bidding. You just never know. But here's why the bids are high at the auction, and there's lots of people at the auction because they know what type of market we're in. They know what type of market we're in, and so. One of my agent investors called me on, I believe it was Thursday or Friday of last week. They said that they had a property they were calling a pre-foreclosure list. You guys listen to this. They were calling a pre-foreclosure list. Got a hold of an owner of a property. He was actually the personal representative of an estate, had already gone through all the steps, had his letters of administration, but he was holding out. I don't know if he was waiting on a miracle. His brother was staying in the property. She called, got a hold of him on Thursday. We negotiated a price on Friday. I find out late Friday that the house is up for auction. They had an auction date for today, Tuesday. Now I'm trying to work through the weekend. I said, well, can I please call the personal representative? She gave me his number. I never even saw the property. My agent did, and she sent pictures, but there was just no time for that. I tried to work through the weekend to try to figure out a strategy to try to stop the foreclosure. I can stop a foreclosure at least easily 2 weeks before the auction, sometimes a week before an auction, but it's very rare to stop an auction 1 or 2 days, stop a foreclosure 1 or 2 days before the auction. So the plan coming into yesterday, Monday, was to try to call the attorney. So they had a local attorney here. And so we all did. I called, my agent called, personal representative called. The attorney referred us to the lender. Called the lender referred us back to the attorney. So they played that game. So then finally I said, look, let's just pay the arrearage. So they were able to call and get the amount to bring the mortgage current, which wasn't really a lot of money. It was like $24,000. And in total, they owed about $90,000. So I said, look, we're not going to play the game. Let's just wire them money so that they'll stop the foreclosure. And they gave us a runaround. They wouldn't do it. Again, the bank said talk to the attorney. Attorney said talk to the bank. Really wouldn't give us the wire instructions. Went to auction today, and the person who won the auction, now after repair value on the property is about $380. We actually went under contract. We went under contract for $200. We went under contract for $200. ARV is $280. The house got bidded up today. $300,000 got bidded up. It got bidded up so high that the seller in this case, the personal representative in this case, actually won. He won. And the reason he won is because even though the house went to foreclosure, he actually won because he's going to sell the house to us for $200. He was going to make whatever that difference was. Let's just say it was $100,000, well, $110, but he'd have to pay some fees. The bank is not allowed, when they foreclose, you guys, they're not allowed to make money. They're only allowed to collect the amount that's owed on the mortgage, which in this case was $90. They had to give the seller the rest of the money. So they'll get the rest of the money in about 90 days. So the bank won. They got their money. The seller actually won, even though the house went to foreclosure, because the high bid went to $300,000. So they made more money than they would have made if it didn't foreclose and sell it to me. Everybody in this deal won, but us. We all lost. So I lost. My agent lost. I was actually going to wholesale the deal actually to Alvis. So we all lost. We all lost on that deal. But my lesson on this is, in a situation like that, my regret is when I first found out on Friday, my thought was to try to stop the foreclosure. My plan B was my plan A was to stop the foreclosure using our contract. Plan B was just to bring the mortgage current. My lesson was plan A should have been to bring the mortgage current from day one. I should have just wired the money day one because I didn't have a lot of time to play with and stop the foreclosure that way, especially in this market, especially what we negotiated with them. It was a great deal. But anyway, you guys, lessons learned, lessons learned, lessons learned. All right, so let's I'm going to give, this should be easy, but I'm giving away $100 tonight. I do want to say that DeMille won last week, and he was at my office the next day. I want to say bright and early, but it wasn't bright and early. But I was happy to give that to him, had a nice chat with DeMille. And so I'm going to give away another $100, you guys. The first person to answer this question, write it down. Should we include DeMille on this one since he won last week? Should we put in the comment box? Should we include him? I think I'm going to include him. All right, you guys, write this down. And so I want to know what the wholesale fee is on this one. What's the wholesale fee? How much are you going to make on this one? All right. DeMille saying yes. All right. What's the wholesale fee? I'm looking for the wholesale fee. Look, Swan is saying, I see you. All right. After repair value is $800,000. After repair value is $800,000. Repair cost is $160,000. ARV is 800,000. Repair cost is $160,000. Tell me what the wholesale fee should be. Tell me what the wholesale fee should be. And so, Kevin, while you guys are answering that question, I'm going to answer your question. So my next step, if I would have been able to stop the foreclosure, which I'm kicking myself, I should have been able to, then my next step would have been to get the title company to run title, which I had, and then proceed to settlement in a week or two. That would have been the next step. All right, so let's see. We've got Eric Williams has got $40,000 in wholesale fee. Lynn has, looks like she's got 41,000. No, what's that? That's 416,000. DeMille has 40,000. Donnell has 40,000. Looks like the winner is Eric Williams. Eric Williams with the 40,000. Eric Williams with the 40,000. Nope, you're too late, Lorraine. You're too late. All right, so here's how we got that. Way to go, Eric. Eric, come by the office tomorrow. I got you. Good job, DeMille. A little slow this time, DeMille. A little slow on that calculator. Donnell, we need to sit down one-on-one. We've got a one-on-one. You got it right. You know what you're doing, Donnell. Lorraine as well. Good job. All right, here's how we got that. Swan, you almost won it. All right, so look, 800,000. We're gonna take, if we do it as a wholesale, you're gonna take 65% of the 800,000. And you're going to get 520,000 minus the 160 in repair costs is going to give you 360,000. That 360,000 is what you're going to offer the motivated seller. That's your offer to the motivated seller. That's your offer, 360,000. When you're able to get them under contract for 360,000, you're going to do the math for the cash buyer. The math for the cash buyer is 800,000 times 70%. I'm buying, especially in this market, I'm buying at 70% all day long. So 800,000 times 70% is 560,000 minus the $160,000 in repair costs, which is 400,000. So you take so I'm buying that 400,000 cash. If the wholesaler puts it under contract for 460, they offer it to me at 400. I'm buying all day long. Bring me the assignment agreement. I'm signing it. The difference between the 400,000 and 360,000 is $40,000. $40,000. Shalante, the repair cost in this case is $60,000. $60,000. That's the repair cost, $60,000. And so who can tell me, this is not for the money. This is not for the money. But who can tell me when you're renovating a property for $600,000, you're renovating the property, the after repair value is $600,000. After repair value is $600,000. You've done your due diligence, after repair value is $600,000. You've got an appointment in 2 hours. I'm not around. Nobody's around. Nobody's around. You have to determine what the repair cost is going to be so that you can do the Mayo formula to come up with exactly what you're going to offer at the ARV at 600,000. Somebody put in the chat box, what should be the repair cost? What should be the repair cost? Nope. Repair cost, Donnell. All right, so Donnell got it right. Repair cost, oh, DJ got it right too. All right. The repair cost should be around 120,000 because if we don't know, we don't have a contractor, we don't have a cash buyer out there, we don't have a coach or a mentor, we're going to take you guys. There's no excuse not to go out and get that contract signed and make them an offer. We're going to take 20%, you guys. We're going to take 20% of the after repair value. Generally, about 80% of the time, you're going to be dead on. You're going to be dead on, and that's 120,000. All right, here's something that I'm not sure that I've gone over, but I think I have. Let's say in the first case, in the first case study, hopefully you guys wrote all that down. In the first case study, I already gave out money. In the first case study, what should be the profit? What should be the profit in the first case study? What should be the profit? I'm buying a property at 400,000. ARV is 800,000. What should I expect? What should I expect to profit on that deal? What should I expect to profit in the first case study where the ARV is 800,000? What should be my profit? Somebody put in the chat box. In the comment section. What should be my profit? Anybody know? Anybody? Somebody make a guess. What should the profit be? Okay, maybe I haven't gone over this. All right, you guys. All right, we've got some good guesses, but no. Donnell says no. Carlos is saying 140. No. Eric is saying 120. Donnell is saying 240. No, no, no. Lynn is saying 400 as a profit. Profit. After repair value is 800,000. What should I expect in my mind? What should I expect the profit to be? There you go, Tina. There you go, Tina Taylor. OTT got it. 160. I want a profit. Generally speaking, I want a profit. My profit to be 20% of the after repair value should be my profit. Keep in mind, you guys, as a cash buyer, I'm going 70% of the after repair value minus repair costs. And so that leaves 30%. I'm buying at 70% minus repair costs. That leaves me 30%. 10% of that is either going to carrying costs, other fees, lender fees, closing cost fees, things like that, fees, depending on how you finance the property. And it could go to miscellaneous too. And so that leaves us, so 70% and then 10%, that leaves us 20%. I really want that 20% to be my profit. So 20% of the 800,000 is 160,000. And so that's the profit that I want. That's the profit that I expect. It's generally not the profit that I get. Remember, everything has to be perfect. You've got to buy it right. You've got to get the right terms in the financing. You've got to get the right contractor. You've got to have the right finishes. You've got to stage the property, and you've got to sell it for the right price in the right amount of time. Because that's the other thing I didn't mention. On most lenders, especially a hard money lender, if you go past the 6 months, or if you go past the 90 days, now they start adding on late fees, and late fees can kill you, especially in this market. Late fees can kill you, and there's delays, especially with delays with getting permits. Because, in this COVID environment, a lot of the inspectors are working from home. So inspections are delayed, permits are delayed. Materials, it's hard getting material costs. Materials are sky high, but then they're hard to get sometimes. And so there's lots of delays. So you've got to factor that in. But best case scenario, you want your profit to be about 20%. And in that first scenario, in that first case study, that was 160,000. All right, you guys. Any other questions or comments that you guys may have for me before we adjourn this meeting? Didn't get a lot of questions this time from the emails. I'll have the screen share fixed next time, or we'll use GoToMeeting. But there's a few things I want to go over, comps and how to get the ARV and things like that next time. And so, but the biggest takeaway, you guys, is there's lots of opportunity out here. I really want you guys to do everything you can to really take advantage of the opportunities. You guys know why you're here, why you're in real estate, why you're real estate investing, why you're on this call tonight. Like, you've got to know why you're here. Why are you here? What's your big why? Like, what's your motivation? And whatever that is, push yourself, you guys. Push yourself to accomplish that. Like, I want a better life for my daughter, so I think about my daughter a lot. That's my big why. I think that I want to have I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave generational wealth. I want to live up to my fullest potential. All those types of things are my why. And everybody has a different why. My why used to be when my daughter graduated from college, that she wouldn't have any student loans. And so so she graduated in May. And so I accomplished that. Now your why, your motivations change, your goals change. You accomplish one goal and then you move on to other goals. And so what is your goal? What is your goal now? And so whatever that is, have tunnel vision, focus. I want you to focus on it and do a little something every single day to accomplish that goal. You've got to make moves. Even getting this, I started the meeting off with this credit card, this American Express, so that I could get reward points, because I'm throwing away money by using my debit card, which is not making me any money. And the American Express, as long as I pay that thing off in 30 days, building up points. And with that reward points, lots of things I can do. That's a little thing. But it's a baby step moving in a direction of where I really want to be. And so that's one of the little things that you guys can do. But you got to do more and more little things to accomplish your goals. But you've got to know your why. You've got to know your why. I think Chloe had a question. Oh, how do you calculate ARV? And so, Chloe, I'm going to go through that next week. But the easy answer is, Chloe, you can get the after repair value in a number of different ways. One of which is on the MLS, the multiple listing service. If you're not a real estate agent, and then I would align myself with a real estate agent that can pull comps for you. Kind of one-off deals. If you find a property and you want me to run get the ARV for you, just text it to me and I'll get the ARV for you pretty quickly. But you've got to learn how to do it on your own. And so another way that I even use, I use Zillow sometimes, or I'll cross-check my comps with Zillow. And so I'll go onto Zillow, look at the Zestimate, and the Zestimate is not the after repair value, but I want to see how Zillow got the Zestimate. The Zestimate is going to be the average or the median of the properties, of like-kind properties. And so I'll pull up a property. They'll give me the Zestimate. Let's say, for example, the Zestimate is $400,000. It'll have a range of, let's say, houses that recently sold for $350,000, $375,000, $400,000, $450,000, maybe $500,000. And if that $500,000 is the highest in the Zestimate, more than likely it's probably the after repair value. Now I'm able to cross-check it with the MLS, but I use the Zestimate. And so if all else fails, use that. Use the high-end Zestimate, the comp on the high end, if you go to Zillow. But for now, Chloe, I'll vet it. I'll vet a deal, but make sure it's a deal. Make sure it's a deal that it's a property that you've got an appointment to go on. You guys just don't start texting me just random addresses and say, pull comps for me. Make sure it's something real, that you've got an appointment to go on and you need to know what the after repair value is. And I want you guys to make appointments. That's the name of the game. You've got to make appointments. Don't overthink this thing. Oftentimes you guys will say, can you pull the comps? Can we go over this property? And the first thing I say is, well, do you have an appointment? Have you even called the seller to see if they're interested? Well, no, I was driving down the road. I was driving for dollars and I saw this property. Can you pull comps for me? I'm like, do they even want to sell? Like, call them. Like, I can spend some time doing this and I'm happy to, but nobody wants to waste their time. And so get an appointment first, and then we'll go ahead and do our homework then. Greg Gamby, PropStream is good. So Chloe, you can use PropStream. You can use Real eFlow. A lot of our investors are using PropStream. They cross-check it with the MLS and they're dead on. I know Tori does. and Tori will tell me what the after repair value is. I'll look it up on the MLS, and he's 100% every single time. So prop stream, like Greg Gamby has said, you can use that to pull your comps. But also you can use a real estate agent, and then there's some technology, some apps that you can use as well. All right, you guys, it's 9:06. Let's take some action. That's the name of the game. Let's win. You're not going to win, sit idly by doing nothing, watching everybody else win. Let's get in the game. You're here for a reason. Let's know what that reason is, and let's go. Let's do it. Let's be great. I want you guys to be great. I want you to be greater than you think you can be, and be a shining example for everyone around you, especially your children. Especially your children. We want to make this world, this life great for our children. And so let's go. Let's get it now. If you guys need me, you know how to contact me. Please contact me. I want to be part of your success. I want you to grow. And if you grow, I grow. If I'm able to bless you, then, I'm going to get my blessings too. So contact me if you need anything. But let this be a great week. Like, let's go hard this week. No days off. Let's go hard this week. All right, you guys. Follow me on Instagram. Let me pull up. Follow me here on Instagram. Janelle just subscribed to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're going to be putting more and more content on our YouTube channel. If any of you guys are interested in joining our brokerage, go to joinbrs.com. That's joinbrs.com. Contact me. We're actually having a career night tomorrow night. So we're having a career night tomorrow night. Hope to see you guys there. Or for private consultation, private meeting, go to joinbrs.com. Follow me on Instagram. Let's go, you guys. There's lots of money to be made out here. Your excuse is you don't know what to do. You don't have a resource. You don't have a coach or mentor. That's not your excuse. Your excuse is I didn't find time to take action. That's what I hear. I didn't find time. Find the time. Find the time to improve yourself, to become wealthy. Find that time. All right, you guys. God bless. Take care. And I will talk to you soon. Good night.